Hello, everyone, and welcome to Petite to Queen's Claim Your Career Crown podcast. I'm your host, Lynn, and today I'm really excited to welcome our special guest, Toni Bache. And we are going to be talking about how to augment products with memberships to master your time and profits. So a little bit about Toni. She's an Australian-based seven-figure business coach, helping busy women build and scale their high-ticket memberships without sacrifice. Only a few years ago, Toni served as the global vice president of a Fortune 500 company, responsible for multi-million-dollar deals. It sounds familiar, doesn't it? While the role required big credentials, it left her feeling unfulfilled. What began as a journey to move every day for 30 days turned into 365 days. After posting one blog post about her journey, Toni landed a major feature, setting off her exit from the corporate world and entree into entrepreneurship. Today, Toni inspires female founders to create hustle and hustle-free $1 million+ memberships through her programs. She has helped close to 25,000 women, and that's to date. It's still growing, with multiple clients having achieved seven-figure annual years while working with her. So Toni, I'm so excited to have you here today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Lynn. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, I want to say this is going to be a really intriguing conversation. I'm very interested. And for all of you who are joining us for that very first time, take this moment right now to subscribe, to claim your career crown wherever you get your podcasts. And if you love what you're doing and you love the show, you love Toni, we would love to see a 5-star review. And so thank you for sharing the love. So Toni, let's sort of dig into this, because you sort of transferred from your corporate career to what you're doing now, which is so phenomenal. I'd love to hear what inspired you or how that sort of transition really took place.
Yeah, look, I've always had entrepreneurial spirit. So the entire time I was in corporate, I always had some little side thing going on. And, over the years, there was different versions of things, but I was sort of just dabbling in them because my core career took up most of my time and energy, and I loved it. It wasn't like I was unhappy or unsatisfied there. And then I as you mentioned, when you kind of beautifully introduced me there, I wasn't well. Like I don't know, I still to this day don't know what it was. Maybe it was burnout, maybe it was some kind of like physical thing, but I was really unwell. I had vertigo. My throat felt like I was swallowing razor blades every single day. I literally would finish work, go home, go to bed, and my husband would bring me mashed potato and gravy because that was like all I could eat. And then I would go to sleep. And I'm like, this isn't living. I went to, doctors, I had medicine, I had tests, they did a little surgery on my ear. Like there was all sorts of things and I wasn't feeling better. And I was like, this is crazy. I need to take control of my health and well-being, because I wasn't terrible, but I wasn't giving it as much focus as I should have been. We all, as women, we're all guilty of like, oh, I'll exercise tomorrow. I'll eat, I'll not have Uber Eats again for the rest of the month. There's always like something we'll say to ourselves. And so one of the things I thought is, I want to exercise more. I need to move my body more. But I knew that what had failed for me in the past over and over again was, hey, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to go to the gym 3 times this week for an hour, and I'm going to like sweat out really hard for an hour. But what would inevitably happen was I got caught up at work, or I'm too tired because I had a big day at work, or, something could happen. So I said, I'm just going to exercise every day for 30 days. And I don't care if it's 5 minutes and it's just stretching, on my yoga mat on the floor. It's creating that habit and discipline of moving every day. And like you said, that 30 days I did it. And I was like, well, that wasn't as hard as I thought. Like all these years I've been trying to like be consistently exercising, and all of a sudden I could do it for 30 days. And then that became 60 and 90. And then it became a whole year. And at the end of the year, my husband was like, Toni, that's a massive achievement. You should write a blog post about it. Now, I had never written a blog post in my life. I didn't have a blog. My husband had a blog, but it was about running because he's a runner. And it wasn't a big or successful blog. This was like a little blog that just friends and family read. I have no idea. Like it was such a small blog. Like he didn't even have metrics set up to know how many people were looking at it, but not many. And I wrote this article. I was just like, and wrote it away. And it took off. It went like crazy. And it literally, so many people saw it. And Arianna Huffington's publication, Thrive, ended up picking it up. And so from that publication, picking it up, then thousands of people were reaching out to me and going, Toni, this is really cool. Can you help me do the same thing? And my little entrepreneurial brain went, yes, I can. And I'm not going to do it one-on-one, and I'm not going to do it for free. So I, in the space of 2 weeks, I went from literally not having even a business idea to having a course like fully created, fully launched, and actually like sent out to everybody. And I had over 300 people sign up. And I didn't know that that was a thing. Like I didn't know that that was good. I thought, oh, that's nothing. And I didn't spend any money doing it. So that kind of grew and grew and grew and grew. And then it turned into a membership from there.
Wow. Wow. That's really amazing, especially getting something put together that quickly. That is truly, I mean, from my perspective, that's a wow. And I'm just sort of curious of when you put together, and obviously you've transitioned since then, but to the membership program, I mean, how did you do this and what kind of process did you use?
Yeah. So for me, I always in corporate, I was really coaching from a business lens. Like the life coaching stuff, I was qualified in it. I'd had the experience. I'd gone and done the certifications for my own self-development, but I never saw that as a career for me. Like I was like the business-oriented corporate, grow your business kind of gal. So this kind of, I guess, life coaching foray was an unexpected twist and turn. And I got a lot of fulfillment from it because helping busy women, like I'm a busy woman, but pretty much, I'm pretty sure everyone listening to your podcast is a busy woman. And it like, it's not easy being a busy woman. So I'm like, I have these secrets. I've learned these like shortcuts to success. I need to share this with more people. But then what happened is that membership became very successful. And because it was very successful, people started coming to me and saying, hey, how did you do this so successfully? And so then I started helping them with that, leveraging my existing business coaching skills, leveraging what I'd learned growing my own membership. And so then I helped a few people, and then that turned into a few more people. And all of a sudden, the demand for business coaching around how I can set up and grow my online program and online membership was not bigger, but taking more of my time than what the life coaching membership was. And I realized my passion was more there because I love helping busy women with their life, but I'm just naturally a business oriented person. So that was more for me.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a fantastic story of how you evolved and pivoted, and sort of went back to, in some ways, your roots, and what you were doing, but with this new, completely different entrepreneurial twist. So I'm curious, through this journey and through this time, was there anything that held you back?
Honestly, the biggest thing that held me back was my mindset. And I think that's the case for most women. We underestimate what we're capable of, and we have a lot of that doubt and fear and imposter syndrome that comes into play. And then you sort of like, well, what if it's not good enough? What if I'm not good enough? What if, like, and all of those what ifs. And I had a big aha moment, and this was literally last week, right? So, I've been in business a long, long time ago, and I saw something, and the person said, procrastination is not laziness. Procrastination is when your fear of failure is greater than your drive for success. And I think, I used to take pride. I used to wear a badge of honor I'm not afraid of anything. We'd be at those corporate business dinners and I'm afraid of birds and I'm afraid of spiders. And oh my gosh, I can't believe you swim in the ocean in Australia. Doesn't a shark bite your leg off? And I'm like, I'm not afraid of anything but failure. And I used to like wear that as a badge of honor. I'm not afraid of anything but failure. And then I realized like, this is crazy because that fear of failure is stopping me from trying things. It's stopping me from taking action. It's stopping me from showing up. It's stopping me from helping more people. And I think that was the biggest thing that held me back. And I think that's what holds most people back is that, and it's not even a conscious thing, by the way. It's not like consciously, oh, well, I won't do that because I'm afraid of failure. It's this, you start to go, oh, well, my website, I better work on that a little bit more, or, oh, I can't show up on Instagram until I know exactly what my message is. And it's all just noise and voice. I had a client this week and I love her. She's one of my favorite clients. She said to me, Toni, I have these videos I created a few years ago, and those videos are amazing. They're incredible videos, but my hair was longer in those videos than what my hair is now. And it's going to be mixed into the series with like long hair videos and short hair videos. And I'm like, come on, like, this is just like classic, like, let's find a reason to not do things and to not put ourselves out there. That's not the real reason. Like, we know intuitively no one's going to care. Probably no one will even notice your hair has different lengths. But if they do, they're not going to be like, oh my gosh, like her hair's different lengths. But it's that whole, like, we find these excuses and these reasons why we can't just jump in and do things. And that is what held me back. And that's what holds most people back, I think.
Yeah, it does. I agree with you of all these different types of self-doubts. And if anybody notices, I really got my hair cut short. And it's like, and I sort of went, well, should I mention it? And it's like, well, they're still not going to either obviously pick up on it, but my hair has been, it goes, I do this routinely, I'll get my hair all grown out to my almost shoulder length. And then I get to cut it all off again. And it's just sort of like this cycle I go through. So, anyway, what's really fun is, as we were talking about this, I'm really curious for women who are, running their own business, whether it's a coaching business or some kind of education or consulting, how do they transfer this to a membership format? And what are the key things that they need to be looking at or cognizant of, so that they can make that transition as smoothly as possible?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's a couple of things I would say straight off the bat, because I think there's a lot of misnomers around memberships. So the first thing is, it doesn't matter what niche you're in, who you serve, who you help, it can be a membership. I've seen memberships, like the most bizarre things that you would literally never think could ever work in a million years. And they're very successful memberships. So if you're sitting there going, oh yeah, memberships are cool, but they're not going to work in my niche, you're wrong. Feel free to DM me. I'll slap you around the ears and get you like on the straight and narrow that you can do it. The second misnomer is memberships are going to take a lot of my time because I have to show up a lot and I have to do a lot and I have to coach a lot. Again, not true. I have clients where they are literally not involved in their memberships at all. They have multi-six-figure memberships and they have literally, maybe 1 or 2 hours a week of involvement in their membership behind the scenes, and they can go on vacation for weeks and weeks on end and nothing happens. So you get to design how your membership's structured, if you show up, how you show up, all of those sorts of things. And number 3 is that memberships have to be low cost. It's a misnomer. A membership, you can charge anything you like for it. So I'm just going to like shut down those things first, because otherwise they're like, oh yeah, we'll switch off now. We'll stop listening to her. Nice chit chat, but memberships aren't for me. But I'm not saying they have to be, but they can be. The second thing is, how do you transfer what you're doing now to a membership? So you just need to look at like, what are the things that your people need to get them from where they are now to where they want to go. And your membership basically helps bridge that from where they are now to where they want to go. And not all, but most memberships are implementation focused. So you might have a course that gives them information about here's how you do whatever thing. And then you might have a membership that helps them actually implement and do said thing. And then, you might have coaching in your membership, or you might have an additional group coaching program or one-on-one coaching program that may or may not form a part of a membership, depending on whether or not you want that to have that recurring revenue you don't want to have to work for every week and every month, or whether you want to, kind of have seasons of I'm going to hustle hard and launch and then close the doors. So there's lots of different ways you can do it. I think it depends on, your specific membership, but I think the most important thing is starting with who's your ideal client, where are they now, where do they want to go, what are the different steps that I can help them on throughout that journey, and then how can I show up in a way that's going to serve them and help them get the best results, but it's also going to align with me, because I'm a massive believer in, we all get into business because we want more freedom, we want more flexibility, we want more fulfillment. So why on earth, why would we then go, oh, I'm going to design my membership or my business first and then fit my life around that? So we've got to actually design our life first and think, well, this is how much time I'm willing to commit to my membership. I really love live talking and coaching, or I hate live talking and coaching. And so you build it around what's going to serve your people, but also what's going to serve you.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely brilliant. And I think that sort of wraps up to where I want to ask you, for the women who are tuning in, men and women and everyone, if they're interested in, transitioning to a membership program or adding a membership program into their mix, what should they do next? What's sort of the first thing that they should do to get started?
Yeah, look, honestly, the first thing I would say is ask your folks. Like, it sounds cheesy, but I would literally, you've already got an audience. If you don't, let's start with figuring out who your people are and building that audience. But assuming you've already got an audience, literally put a post out there on whatever platform you use most and most of your people are on, and say, hey, I'm thinking about creating an ongoing experience that helps ideal client go from where they are now to where they want to be. Is something like this, something you'd be interested in? And just see what people say. And if nobody responds, A, it could be that you don't have good reach, and that's a different problem we've got to talk about. But B, if you get good reach and no one responds, it's a bad idea. We haven't nailed it yet. We need to refine more your offering and understand your person more. If everybody's like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing, I've been dying for this, like, thank you so much, how can I sign up? You're on a winner. And that's when you go, okay, well, let's make this happen. And don't build it all first. Just go, hey, I'm thinking about doing it. I'm going to get a small group of people together. You can get in at this, bargain basement price that I'm never going to offer again, because we're going to co-create it. So you're going to come in, you're going to tell me all about your problems, you're going to tell me what you need, and together we're going to map out what this membership looks like. And you literally, build it as you're going. You're fueling the airplane while you're still flying, but that's the best way to do it, because A, you test if the market is ready for it. B, you sell it before you've spent any time on it. C, you co-create it with your ideal customers so it's exactly what they want. And D, you don't have to do a whole lot of work in the lead up and the thing, because you can't procrastinate, because you've taken that action. You've got real paying members in front of you. You've got to show up for them. You can't put it off for another year while you think about the perfect way to launch it. You've just got it happening, and you've got to keep running from there.
Yeah. And I'm going to say flat out that I've done it both ways. The first time we actually created a course, we had it all figured out. We recorded the whole thing, we put it all together. And then we launched it and did that whole piece. Right. But when I started my program, the sales strategy program, it was actually quite different. I'd already sort of concepted it out in my mind, but I hadn't done anything else with it except for and I was talking about it with someone who literally said, I want it, I need it, I got to have it. When can we start? And I sold a 5-figure program, and I'm going like, and I did give myself a couple of weeks before we started so I could start getting it ready. And I literally built it on the fly. And it was to your point, it's like, first of all, I actually ended up having that program completed and delivered and executed with a client who was absolutely thrilled, gave me a glowing testimonial and referrals faster than we ever did the course. Okay. Yes. And of course, you can then multi-purpose it. You can use sections of it. In that case, it was a private client, but with their permission, I could use parts of the videos, etc. And as I kept expanding and growing, and then converted that to a group program, right? And so I love what you're talking about of then transferring that into memberships on the fly. And I'm just here to back Toni up and say, yes, you can.
Well, I think it works.
You can.
Well, imagine if you spent a year like thinking about it, planning it, creating it, and then you went, hey, I launched this thing, and you get crickets, versus if you go, I'm just going to test the market. Like, it's perfect. I call it the dirty beta because it's dirty, it's messy, there's ugly parts of it. It's not perfect. You're going to have a freak out moment and go to me, oh, Toni, like, I don't know if but the thing is that the people that buy from you at that stage, they're your raving fans anyway. They're the people that know, like, and trust you already. You've been really transparent and said, hey, it's not all figured out. You're like actually giving them the advantage of being part of building that program. So yeah, it's going to be dirty. It's going to be messy. It is a bit of a beta, but it's the best way to get you to take action. And it's the best way to ensure that you have a profitable market before you go and spend even a second on creation.
Yeah. Yeah. Here. Toni, thank you so much for sharing how to augment products with memberships to master your time and profits. And I would love to have you share with our listeners how and where they can find out more about you, because I know that they're going to want to do that.
My favorite thing, I'm not a big fan of social media, right? Because like the whole idea of followers and likes, and we help our clients grow massively, but I'm like, I don't care about that vanity metric stuff. But what I care about is engagement. I love chatting with people. So feel free to reach out to me anytime. Either Facebook or Instagram are the best places to find me. And you can just search for me, Toni Bache. I'll come up, and you can hit me up in the DMs. I'd love to chat and get to know you all better.
All right. And we'll be sure to include those links right below. So Toni is one click away. This has been such a terrific conversation today. And for those of you who tuned in, if you have ideas that you would like to share, you can leave us a comment down below. We do love hearing from you and hearing your thoughts. And if you have a specific question or would like to suggest topics for discussion, please email us at jointheconversation@petitequeen.com. And of course, to stay current on all of our insightful advice, our breakthrough advantages, and incredible interviews like the one today with Toni, you can sign up for our weekly Wisdoms newsletter at petitequeen.com. And thank you to everyone who tuned in. And Toni, thank you so much for sharing your brilliance today. It's been incredible.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun, and I can't wait for all of you to get started, whether it's your membership or something else. All I ask is that you take action, you grow your business, and you help change the world.
All right. Let's see.